It's a great day. My name is Shay Brown, the Happy Entrepreneur, and welcome to the Happy Entrepreneur Show, the #1 business development and revenue-focused late-night show in the country where we are on a mission. And our mission really is to empower, our mission is to inspire, and our mission is to provide you, that's right, you, the hard-working entrepreneur, with all of the resources that are necessary to execute that big vision you have for the people you were called to serve. On this episode, we have the one and only Bri. She's in the building with the CPA, and she'll be talking about how you can eliminate poverty from your bloodline. What's going on, Bri? How you doing?
Hey, Shay, I'm doing good.
Well, I'm so glad you're here. Thanks for taking time out with us, by the way. And thank you to viewers. Thank you for tuning in, by the way. Maybe you're listening to us while you're cooking dinner right now and you kind of have it up on an iPad, or maybe you have it in your computer playing in the background. And some of you might be in the car right now listening to the podcast, or we could be in your ears. I don't know where we are, but thanks for participating. We're going to make this a good use of your time. Bri, I'm curious. We were talking about eliminating poverty from the bloodline, but my first question really is, why are people struggling these days to understand how to take care of their finances?
I feel like it's because no one was ever taught. So a lot of times people inherit generational poverty instead of generational wealth. And with that poverty comes a poverty mindset. So the way that they think, the way that they view things, it's from a place of I can't, it's not possible for me, it happened for them, but not me. God wants them to be blessed abundantly, but not me, because look at my daddy and all of them before me. I'm the only one even making good money in my family. So I mean, like, I've already made it. That's good enough, right? Like, what you mean talk about being wealthy? People like me are not wealthy. I think it's just that mindset. They think that they can't. And so whether you think you can or you can't, you're right.
Well, for the person that says, wait a minute, Shay, she's right. I have said exactly what she said, those words. What is a positive mindset? Let's shift there for a moment. Don't worry. For those folks who say, hey, I'm doing well, Shay. I'm doing well with my money. I need my money to do better. I'm going to get to that, okay? But for the person that's like, yeah, it's been running in my family, and this is just how things are. What is a positive mindset? What is maybe 1, 2, or 3 things they should be saying to themselves, or how should they be looking at it so they can start down the right path? I know it's a loaded question because people are different ages and different places and different spaces, but would you say that person is listening right now and they're leaning forward saying, yeah, help me?
I say first, watch what you allow yourself to listen to before you even talk about what you need to say to yourself. Like, a lot of times that inner self-talk comes from everything else that we're digesting and listening to. So they're already making a great step because they're listening to the Happy Entrepreneur Show. And so they're making sure that they're protecting their gates and hearing the right stuff, right? So after that, though, once you are protecting your gates and making sure you're not hearing other people say those negative things either, because you're just like the top 5 people that's in your circle. And so that's no coincidence. If they're all broken, you are too, or if they all talk poorly and you do too. And if you're the best person in your group, it's time for you to elevate out of that group and get somewhere where you have people that are further ahead than you and are goals for you. So I'm not saying leave them alone. I'm just saying spend a little less time with them and more time with the positive folks. So then you can start saying stuff like, oh, this is possible for me. Oh, that may have been impossible for them because they didn't see it clearly, but it's just math. All I have to do is X, Y, Z, and it will happen for me. All I have to do is plug this formula into my finances in my life, and it can happen for me. All I have to do is use this same tool and look at money as the tool that it is and put it to work for me instead of me letting it dictate whatever it wants to do. Because if you leave money to make the decisions for you, I'm telling you right now, it's going to make the wrong one. So you have to decide where your money's going to go and look at yourself as the boss of that tool. Look at it as no more than hammer and nail. Stop putting money on a pedestal and instead look at it as a tool to build what you want for your family. You're going to have a legacy no matter what. Now, what one do you want it to have? Do you want to have a legacy that your children are ashamed to speak on? Or do you want to have one where they are talking about you centuries from now in your bloodline so that they're saying, look at what grandma or grandpa did. And this is why we are able to do the things that we can do now because of the sacrifices that they made then and the work that they did then. It changed our whole family and we are still good to go. Wealth is not just for the Rockefellers, the Warren Buffetts, the Bill Gates. Wealth is for you and me.
Well said. I love how you said it's for everyone. And don't worry, I know some of you have already Googled Bri. I get that. Some of you have already on her website, and others of you are like, Shay, I have no idea who this woman is. It's making sense. Don't worry. In a moment, we're going to find out her backstory a little bit and what led her on this path she's on now. But first, if we can, Bri, take a moment and talk to the person that's saying, you know what, I've done the right thing. I've got 6 months in the bank, by the way, so I'm going to be okay, if that makes sense, by the way. So they're saying, wait a minute, I'm secure. I've got 6 to 12 months in the bank, or maybe they reached the part where they're like, I'm independent. I've got 24 months in the bank. I've got savings. I've got retirement. We'll get to you in a minute, but the person's secure, 6 to 12 months already in the bank. Again, she's not a financial planner here, but what are some best practices they should be looking at right now, or what some things you might advise them to at least consider?
So if you are secure where you have 6 to 12 months in the bank, that is great. However, are you in a position where if your life got shook up, turned upside down right now, parent in a hospital, kids acting up at school, your world caught on fire, would you be able to recover from that? Would you be able to step away from the workplace, lose your job for more than 6 to 12 months? Because if you grieving a parent, 3 days is not enough. Are you able to say, hey, look, I need more than 3 days off? And if they say, oh, well, are you going to say, okay, I guess I'm coming back in? Or are you able to say, oh, if you fire me, it's okay? Do you have enough money and security to say that, hey, look, I don't care what you decide. I'm going to do what's best for me, my mental health, and my family. And so the way that you start to do that is start looking at the retirement options and stop looking at retirement as an age, because it's just a number in your portfolio, in your bank account, and in all of your investments. So retirement is not an age, it's a number. And so if we shift that, you don't have to be in your 60s to retire, 70s to retire. You can make it so that you have the option to retire in your 30s and 40s. There's millions that have already done it. So what are some things that you have done to prepare yourself for being in that secure place? That person that can say, hey, look, I'm working because I enjoy this. I love what I'm doing. This me pouring out to people pours into me doing this work, whether it's accounting work, whatever work you do, it fills my cup. And that's why I'm here. I'm not here because I'm a slave to this job, because if they say yes or no, it dictates my entire day, week, month, my livelihood. I can't. So that's just where I want people to get from. I want them to get from that place of where they have on those golden handcuffs and more so have that freedom of choice, and they're living their life full of purpose, and on their own terms.
I love it. And then take a moment if you can. We'll slow down, then we'll speed back up, and we're going to come back to the other person that says, all that sounds great, Bri, but how do you handle when you have your finances that you've been trying to support everyone else, and that's why you've been draining your savings? We'll come back. Again, it's not a counseling session, ladies and gentlemen, but you're talking to someone who has opportunities to see this over and over again. But we'll slow down. We'll slow down and say, hey, who is this Bri Smith? So take a moment, if you would, Bri. The question, who are you? So we love your backstory. And then what was that defining moment that led you to really doing what you're doing now?
My daughter. So I was a single mom. Who I am now, I'm a CPA, I'm a wealth strategist. I'm working my butt off to be the most amazing wife, mother, and entrepreneur that I can be, just walking in my God-given calling. But who I was a single mom that got pregnant at 17 years old during senior year. And I decided that my daughter was not going to pay for the mistakes that I made. She's not a mistake. My actions were, and it wasn't her fault that she had me as a mother. And that's how I looked at it. My Christian background, so I felt horrible. And so I knew I had to give her a better life. And I knew that I didn't want her to be a statistic or for myself to be a statistic. I wasn't going to drop out of school. That wasn't an option. I was too smart. I wasn't going to say that now my plans and the career I wanted for my life weren't going to happen. That was not an option for me. So I worked full time. I went to school full time. While I was in college, I bought my first home at the age of 21, would have been 20, but they made me close a few months late. So the closing process took about 3 months instead of 30 days. Had to go through 3 different lenders. That's a whole nother story, but and I'm just a go-getter. Like I worked my tail off. And by the time my daughter was 3, we're in a house that her mommy owns. And she only remembers living in homes that her mommy owns. Like that's been her life. I sold that house for a 6-figure profit, bought another home. I quit my job when God told me so and went full time in business. We have been tripling revenue every single year. And I'm just out here trying to make my dreams a reality for my bloodline. I want 200 years from now for my great grandchildren to know my name because of the work I do today.
Wow. And your parents were they financially? Like, I know my parents, for example, they struggled to send us to school. They struggled to get us on the right track and so forth. This mindset you had, this go getter, this inner fire. Where'd you get that from? Because folks that go through what you go through, they don't just say, "Well, this happened to me. Let me keep going." For many folks, that would slow them down. And I know what it's like. I had my son when I was in college. Don't judge me, nobody. Please don't judge me. I had a whole lot, so I get it. So take a moment. So take a moment, if you would, and share where the inner fire, this inner burning desire you had just to break through and be financially free. Where'd that come from?
I saw my mom struggle. I'm the oldest of 5. My mom had 4 of us. My dad has 2. So obviously they weren't all together. So
Do the math.
yeah, but
I was in
I'm
the
the
same
oldest of
situation.
4
I
in my
understand.
mom's household. And so I saw my mom become a single mom of 4 after her divorce. And I saw how I went from being the kid that had everything to her no longer being able to afford to buy for me and my siblings like she used to be able to. So my grandmother gave me an allowance of $20 every 2 weeks. Grandma was a CNA making maybe about $8 or something an hour, which is what I found out later. But grandma gave me $20 every 2 weeks. What little she had, she gave to me because she's like, "You're working too hard at home, baby. You need something." And I would save that up until I got $100. And every time I got $100, I went to Ross and I bought me some outfits, probably about 10 or so outfits. I still don't like paying more than $10 for jeans now, but it's just not possible. Those days are gone. So,
Yeah,
but
tell me about
yeah,
it.
it's just like I saw that fall, so to speak. My mom's a go-getter. She owns her own home. She's owned 2 homes. She's renting out one. She's just a teacher though. They don't pay teachers well still. And I want it so that if my grandchildren want to be a teacher, they can do that and money not be a problem. If they still don't pay teachers well, they're like, "Oh, it's okay. I got a bunch of rental properties. So I already get paid every single month anyway. I just want to be here for the children." So those are the things, like I saw my mom struggle raising us. And I was like, this is not going to be my life. How do rich people do it? I want to do it too. Like, she gave me the gift of an amazing education, raising me in the suburbs in a safe location. She gave me those gifts, and I took advantage of that and decided that, okay, my mom wanted more for me. She already moved me to a better city than where all of our family's from, and a better school zone. She put me in private school at 2. I call it abuse. I've been in school since I could talk, but I'm so grateful that she did that for me because she set me up for a better life. And I just decided to take advantage of it, and I wanted more.
And now you're there now, and now you run a business helping other folks become financially free and get rid of the poverty bloodline that's out there. Take a moment, if you would, and what suggestions do you have for someone that says, "Okay, Bri, that's fine. You were able to set yourself free," and they're going to set themselves free, because I'm going to ask for 3 ideas that anyone could use in the moment, by the way, just financially to be aware of where their money is and where it's going. But take a moment, and what do you suggest that the person says, "Yeah, but I've got this person depending on me, and this person depending on me, and this person depending on me. So am I supposed to put my money aside first and then whatever I have left over help?" What do you recommend for that? Because at least I know, and at least folks look like me. Not all of you look like me, but probably a lot of you do. Our generation has been in a place where we had to make sure we helped other folks, and so you didn't want to feel guilty where you've got money and no one else does. So how do you handle that from a mindset perspective? If that makes sense, and then maybe just from a balancing your own account and money, so you don't drain your own savings and retirement trying to help everybody else out.
That is difficult. I'm going to be honest with you, because as a Christian, I'm a giver. That God tells us to give and to look out for people. As the oldest, I feel responsible. I feel responsible for my siblings. I feel responsible for my children, but they were my kids before I had kids. So I understand that. And I love the tribe mentality because I think there's so much more that we can build with each other. But something else that is a thought process is on the airplane, when the masks come down, they say put on your mask first, then put it on your child. That's very counterintuitive for a mother or father to put on their mask first before putting on their baby. Your instinct is to save the baby, but you cannot save the baby if you don't save yourself first. If you can't breathe, if you don't put the mask on yourself first, the mask may not ever make it to your child. So it's about how do you put yourself in a position where you're financially stable enough and maintain that stability so that then you can give from your overflow. So now you're not setting your family back, your core family inside of your household back by helping your extended family, and you're not also feeling drained or getting to a place where it's like, oh, they didn't pay me my money back. I gave them my last, and then now they over here eating crab legs, and my lights turned off. Like that's your fault. You shouldn't have gave it to them. But it's like, oh, you gonna be mad at me for being generous? No. So instead, let's just avoid that. And we avoid that by first making sure that our core is taken care of, our home, our household is taken care of. And then what we have from our overflow, give it. Whatever you feel that you need to give that. But you have to make sure you're secure first. Your future is secure first, because future you needs you today to look out for them. Okay. A lot of people don't think about future them. You're not thinking about 80-year-old you. You can understand. You relate better to your neighbor next door that you say hello to every now and then than you do to the 80-year-old you. So future you needs you to take care of them too. So take care of that. But then whatever you have overflow and abundance, we're supposed to give. We're supposed to look out. We're supposed to help build up our tribe. We don't want to be the only ones at the top. We want to bring those people up. Maybe we had to stop hanging out with those core friends for a little bit and get in a better group. But we can start bringing them in one at a time. Hey, let me show you what I learned over here with these cool cats, and let's learn together, whatever it is. But you have to put on your mask first. You have to secure your foundation first, because it ain't doing you no good if everybody stay broke, including you. And if you had it and now you lost it all, now you over here mad and sad, and you don't want to talk to nobody because your lips poked out because you playing victim when you had all control.
I love it, by the way. Spot on, by the way. It's a great segue to a segment we have here called Today is My January 1st. Now, for those folks who know what we're about to do, you can go ahead and say those magic words. You might even wait to this moment every night to say it. Now's your time. Today is my January 1st. Happy New Year to you, by the way. For all the other folks who are tuning in for the very first time, I want to welcome you to the Happy Entrepreneur Show and to our family. Today is our January 1st is our personal mantra, by the way. It represents a fresh start. It represents a do-over. It means our past, no matter how dark and gloomy that past is or how bright and sunny that past is, the past no longer equals the future. And so my question for Bri is really twofold. Number one, when you hear those words, today is my January 1st, what do you hear? But on the other side, when was another time there was a setback? I mean, it sounded like you got yourself going, then you got your business going, then you had a family, and life has just moved for you. Was there ever another setback that you had? And if so, how did you bounce back from any financial setbacks? Or maybe your life's been perfect. Well, I don't know. We'll find out.
I wish, right? So today is my January 1st. I love that because I used to say January 1st ain't that special. I can change today. So I love your spin on it. I love it. It's very positive, but I'm just, get off your butt and get it done. Thursday's a great day. Wednesday's a great day. We don't have to wait till Monday. Today's a great day for change and to grow and to learn. So I feel like it still marries the same thing. It's the exact same feeling. It's just a different way to say it. So I love that. The other thing is, there's been other setbacks. Life is not just a way up. Like my husband is the complete opposite of me when it comes to money. We've been trying to figure out how many cars it's been in 8 years. Supposedly it's 6. I thought it was 7 or 8. We're going to figure that out. But it's at least been 6 cars in 8 years that we've been together. And so that man just can't seem to learn how to drive. We had to deal with garnishments coming out as soon as we were getting married. I mean, we've dealt with a lot. financially. And so we had to figure out how to maneuver that, still be able to buy another home, still be able to give our kids more, keep our children in private school, doing all of those things. Like, God told me to quit my job. I was the breadwinner. It's like, God, you say what now? This business ain't doing that great yet. And so I had to just be obedient and listen and have a faith walk. And so I'm just now starting to see what's on the other side of trusting God when he takes you on that faith walk. We didn't lose anything. Our children are still in private school. We have never missed a mortgage payment, a bill payment. God has been amazing. I'm sorry for any unbelievers, but I am a firm believer, and I have to give God the glory because it was not just Bri. He did it for me. And so that's really been my saving grace, is my faith, because when math didn't make sense, when I couldn't figure out which way to go, I couldn't figure it out, God was just like, move this way, move that way, just stay obedient to me, listen to me, this is what you need to do next in your business, this is where you need to go. And so I'm starting to see all the fruit of those seeds that I've been planting since I've been full-time in my business, and it's beautiful. It makes me want to cry. Like, it's amazing.
I love it. And if you would, I appreciate you being so open and so transparent. Thank you so much. If you would, take a moment and kind of share some strategy for those folks who says, okay, I'm all in. I like what she's saying. She's a CPA. She understands numbers, but I'm looking to try to budget. And I guess the question is, do budgets work? Do people know where they're putting their money? Should they just trust it all in the app? So I guess the question is, number one, do budgets work for everyday folks? And two, are you a believer in using an app for that? Or do you just they just write it down? Can you give some guidance to those folks that are like, I'm all in, I'm ready for a change? Just Bri, what's step one, step two, step three I should do? What would you say to that person?
Okay. I say you got to budget. You need to budget. And so I definitely believe in using apps, but I also believe in pencil and paper. So with my clients, I try and figure out which works best for them. There's no, this is the only way. It's just about what way works best for you, your personality type, what sticks for you. I have all the apps in the world, but sometimes I just got to sit down and write it out. I have notebooks around me at all times. And I know which book everything is in. It doesn't make sense to other people, but it makes sense to me. So what makes sense to you? That's what we need to figure out. And then I say that you have to, so it can be pencil and paper. That's how I started. Or you can use a great app. I have one of them on my website that I use, which is You Need a Budget. I love that one. It has some kinks in it. So it's about what you like best. I also have an Excel sheet that I created that I give to my clients as well, that they are able to use. That has helped me a ton. So find out what works for you and just do it. Don't make it complicated. If you know you're a pencil and paper person, don't play with them apps. If you know you're an app person, just pick one. Don't make it all sophisticated. Doing a budget on an app and it not being perfect, you can figure out how perfect it is later. Just do it. Just start. You're going to do way better by starting and doing something than you ever will by just staying stagnant and doing nothing, right? So that's your step one. Figure out where your money's going. Who has your money? And then after you decided that, that's actually step two, though, because step one is actually knowing your goals. Like, what is it that you want to do? What do you want to accomplish? Why do I even need to sit down and do this budget anyway? Why does it matter? Like, is this even worth my time? So figure out what's going to make it worth your time to put in that work and that effort. And so start with knowing what your goals are. And I don't talk about them little small ones or the ones you feel comfortable saying out loud, but like those ones that are like deep in your soul that you kind of want to say in a whisper in a dark room because you like, oh, I don't want nobody to hear this. They may think I'm crazy to be dreaming this big. That's what I want to hear. Those are the goals that we need to get to. And then I need you to create a budget that's in alignment with those goals. If you say that it's your goal to be healthy and well and be strong at 100 plus years old, still being able to mow the lawn if you want to, then you probably need to take fast food out of your budget because that's not in alignment with your goals. You're trying to be healthy. That's not going to be, you can't be spending all your time eating trash and then expecting that it's going to work out for you, right? Because money is involved in all aspects of our life. You want to go on vacation 4 times a year. Okay, that costs money. So you need to be setting aside money for that instead of just using your credit card to go anyway, saying you got points and you ain't got enough to cover that trip. So, and you're just going into debt, and now you're paying for that vacation long after you done got back and you're tanned and wore off or whatever else. So I need you to be clear on what your goals are and then make a budget that's in alignment with that. And then from there, you just have to work the plan. You have to work the plan. And I think the budget is the beginning of a financial plan. If you can just do a budget and work that, you're already doing much better than probably 80% of Americans. So I just implore you to do that much. And if you want to do more, you can definitely come talk to me.
What do you enjoy? That's spot on, by the way. What do you enjoy most about what you're doing? I mean, the more you talk, the more excited you got. Like I was like, whoa, by the way, you would think she's at Disney World right now. She's just super excited about talking about this stuff. I can see that smile on your face. What do you enjoy most about what you're doing these days?
I love changing people's lives. Like, my clients come to me, sometimes they come crying and then they leave with a smile. They come burdened and just like frustrated and confused, and they leave like they take that deep breath and they feel so much better. Like, that's payment for me. Now I do need the actual check because my mortgage won't take that as payment, but that is payment for me. Like, that fills my cup when I'm helping people with this. It fills my cup to see other people reaching their goals and their dreams, seeing what's actually possible, knowing they can take those trips to Dubai, knowing that they can have the family compound, knowing that they can do all these things they've been dreaming of or thinking about for years, but have never been able to actually take the courage to start doing or working towards, because people would think they're crazy or it's not possible. So it's just like, when I see those aha moments, when I see them actually getting that house that they wanted, that dream house built, when I see them doing those things, like, that just brings my heart joy. Like, it fills my cup to see my clients be able to give their family a much better life. And I know that now they're also on the path to change generations, because once they start getting that taste of like that immediate gratification, which immediate is like within those years, like that first year or so, like just seeing all those changes, right? Now they're like, oh, what can I do for my family for the next several decades or centuries? What are some things I can put together for that? And that's just priceless.
Yeah, spot on. What do you do for fun these days when you're not out saving the world, helping people grow their money, helping them have wealth and stop and make sure that poverty doesn't continue in the bloodline? I mean, what do you do for fun?
My children, like, I try and spend as much time with my babies as possible. We got a new poodle. She will be home Christmas. And so I'm excited for my lady Bella. She is my very first puppy. So I'm a new dog mom. I'm excited about that. But my babies are my world. Like, I have 4 kids. They are a handful. So whether it's playing and watching movies, whooping them in Uno and Monopoly, whatever it is, like, just
you don't let them win. You don't just let them win. You make sure they understand.
Yeah. We don't just give away participation trophies over here. No, thank you. Got to learn at home.
It's serious, huh?
The one time I let my daughter win, she was like, "You never let me win. I won for real." Okay, so then I got to whoop you like 2-3 more times just to show you that you really didn't win that, sis. I was trying to be nice. Nah, these kids, you got to show them who's boss.
Yeah, I always remind them, I've been your age, but you ain't never been mine. So, I'm going to remind you why I'm where I'm at today. With that being said, let me say a couple of things as we come down the home stretch. Number one, how can folks connect with you? Where should they go? What website should they go to? And number two, what type of clients are you looking to work with these days, if any?
Yes, so my website is bdsmithfinancial.com. You can also find me on all platforms, Bri Smith CPA, but you're more likely to hear from me on LinkedIn, at Bri Smith CPA everywhere, though. And I love working with Christian entrepreneurs and parents that are looking to change the trajectory of their families' lives, looking to scale and grow, stop hemorrhaging money inside of their businesses. I hate seeing $1 million businesses, multi-million-dollar businesses that are just throwing away money or don't have high enough profit margins to really get to the next level. So I just love to be able to work for people that have a purpose, because I love to be able to see God's people definitely have money and do right by it, because money is in its of itself is not evil. And so we need to just steward it well.
Well, let me say two things. Number one, thank you so much for being on the Happy Entrepreneur Show. We got to bring you back, not during tax season, but we've got to bring you back. So thank you so much.
Thank you. I enjoyed
And thank
being
you to
here.
viewers. Thank you for tuning in, by the way, because without you, well, we really don't have a show. So we appreciate every time you show up. It's an honor and a privilege to be broadcasting or streaming into your home, whether you're watching a replay or you're able to catch this live. We appreciate you. And I never get tired of reminding you every night at 11 p.m. Eastern Standard Time that you are amazing. I mean, you really are just an incredible human being. I know you have a big heart, and it doesn't sound like it's warm and fuzzy, but it's true. And that no matter what's happening in your life, whether you are going to the next level, because you're on the fast track right now, or you've been hit with the punch that you never saw coming, the one thing I know is that today is your January 1st. And because of just that one reason, I believe your best is yet to come. Your best is yet to come. Your best is yet to come. With that being said, my name, it hasn't changed. It's still Che Brown, the Happy Entrepreneur. Make it a great day, everyone. Bri, we out of here. Peace, everybody. We'll see y'all on the other side.